Sup Shoobs, I'm Gravy Fries, and today we have another What If for Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja, which is basically the series where I discuss what if scenarios or bad endings for, well, Randy Cunningham. And we actually have an idea coming from a friend of mine on Tumblr, Nomirandy. She makes tons of great AUs and other headcanons and scenarios for the show. I'd highly recommend following her on Tumblr and checking the stuff out. She's really good at it. But let's discuss her actual idea she gave me for a bad ending in Sorcerer in Love 2, Sorceress's Revenge. So firstly, Randy loses against the Sorceress in the cave battle and ends up trapped in the realm of shadows, while she and the Sorcerer take over the world. Not good. For plot reasons, he doesn't have the Nomicon with him. Naturally, he probably dropped it, or maybe when Howard was trying to save him, you could have that's how it becomes a bad ending. But he grabs the Nomicon and Randy slips out of his fingers. He's trapped there for about 30 years, yikes, until he finds the portal despite kinda losing it from a severe lack of interaction. He stays pretty positive about the situation. If the Sorceress can find a way out after 800 years, I can do it in half that time. Thankfully, he still has the ninja suit, definitely thankfully, which he learns to use to his full advantage while figuring out how to survive. He never takes it off other than to bathe because he doesn't have any other clothes. It grows with him, luckily. He uses the weapons and spells to hunt for food. He uses the art of heal to fix his wounds and weapons, and he even ends up somehow inventing his own spells for it, despite the lack of training. Creatures in the realm of shadows aren't good for eating, but he has no other choice. They lack the nutrients he needs and don't taste very good, but he makes it work. There's also, like, fruits and plants he finds to eat and learns the hard way which ones are not safe. You know how Sokka gets high off that cactus juice when they're in the desert in Atla? And everybody remembers that classic scene. Yeah, same thing happens to Randy whenever he drinks the water from the realm of shadows. The water makes him woozy, messes with his concentration, and if he drinks too much, makes him hallucinate. But it's very hydrating. A few cups of it keeps going for about a week. He usually only drinks it during meal times, so he can sleep off the effects immediately after. At some point, he makes friends with a creature there, a carnivorous, half-plant, half-animal thing that he named Toothy, who was surprisingly easy to tame. Just share with it some of your meat. Book y'all are friends for life. Yeah, I'm reading that wrong. Unless you don't take care of it, to which it will eat you, naturally. Yeah, that's how most animals work. Toothy can talk, but not very well. It mostly just repeats what Randy says in completely incoherent ways. Like a worse version of a parrot. Toothy's the best parrot, how dare you. It's also very protective of Randy, and helps out a lot in hunts. Randy thought it was weird at first, but started to grow to like it. While this was going on, Nami, which is the human version of the Nomicon, and Howard teamed up to try and take down the Sorcerer and the Sorceress. Howard's convinced Randy is dead and is kinda after revenge. Nomicon can sense when the suit's active, meaning that Randy's still alive somehow, though that turns off whenever Randy falls asleep or takes the suit off to bathe. Every time that happens, he panics. It's always so relieved when it senses the suit activate a while later. Randy ends up finding the portal and returning to Norrisville with the peddler, though he can't bring Toothy because it wouldn't be able to survive in Norrisville. It's a very emotional departure considering Toothy was his only friend for like 20 years. I mean, it's gotta be emotional. He started crying when he knew a robot for 5 minutes. But continuing. Though after a pretty hard fight with the Sorceress, he, Howard, and the Nomicon have a very emotional reunion, and my god, Randy is so happy to like take an actual shower and change clothes and eat normal food again. So that was her first part of it, and she had another great part. There was a second creature she created called Blood, which was this giant slug thing that had a ooze that could make you fall asleep. And it kind of gave you weird dreams. Now, if it liked you, it actually gave you really good dreams. Randy tended to keep it with him just to help him sleep, but he did get attached to it. And it actually did really like Randy. But it's also attracted to the color red. He tends to use the berries that kind of look like blood. That's also the reason why he named it that. To keep it, you know, following him and such. It also enjoys the color red on the suit, so that's always cute. But I just love Blood so much. I was very close to drawing it, but I have so much I need to work on right now. I did not get to it. But that was her scenario, and I even asked her about if it's like Marco from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. No, Randy actually stays a 30-year-old when he comes back out of the Land of Shadows. That's already a fun scenario to think about alone, not even considering, well, how is he going to go back into society after being there for 20 or 30 years? So, already, that's an awesome concept. But that was the submissions. And if you guys have any other ideas or scenarios you'd like me to make a video of, I'd be more than happy to do it. I absolutely love talking about this kind of stuff. It's always so fun. So send in your submissions. Maybe I'll make a video on it. But sadly, that's all we have for today. I hope the video was good, and I'll see you shoobs later.